All right. Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Chris Huckes, and this is Your Best Life Defined. Is it working for you yet? I keep asking that question. I keep waiting for someone to say, you know what, you make sense. I keep waiting for someone to say, you know what, I think I've tried this. I decided that I'm going to replace some of the stuff that I don't enjoy with some of the stuff that I do. That'd be cool if you started, because once you get that small win, like maybe you add something to your life that is actually exciting, like you get to go golfing and you really hadn't planned on it, or you wasn't sure if it could actually happen, but you started out talking about it, and the next thing you know, you are like there, right? See, I look around, I get a lot of my ideas for what my life needs to look like from other people. I remember when Sandy and I first got together, it was like, it was struggle. Every conversation we had when it was difficult, when we were making decisions, was always tough, and it always ended up with someone being mad and someone crying. And I'll leave that to you to figure out who that was, which one of us was where. I have to say, though, in the past, let's say, I think probably in the past 5 years, I think I've gotten around to, we've actually brought our relationship around to where I look at our relationship now, and we're actually best friends. I mean, it's cool. We still have a few bumps in the road, but what's cool about it is we've developed the ability to resolve those issues and to actually walk away from them feeling better than we did before that issue occurred, right? You know, you have there's something between you, someone says something, or there's a feeling or a response, and things kind of go haywire. By spending time looking at our relationship, and by spending time looking at what other people do, we've been able to actually hone that down. There aren't any real sharp edges in our relationship now. We don't yell at each other. We don't get in we never get in an argument. We have discussions, and sometimes there's some passion involved. There's very seldom tears. And when I see tears, I stop and say, wait, this is not what I wanted. I'm not interested in making you feel that way, right? I don't want to make my wife feel like she needs to cry. Guys, hey, listen, if you're listening to this, pay attention. It's a good plan. If you see tears, you're doing something wrong. So when you look at your relationship and you look at where it's going and how it's transformed, are you really like rocking it? Do you wake up every day energized? Do you feel that connection with the person you share your life with, you know, like you did when you first started dating? Possibly you might not. You may not, because with anything new becomes the new norm, right? The amazing yesterday becomes average today. I mean, I mentioned it with the fifth wheel. We introduce new things to our life, and when we first get them, we're all excited about them, and we can't believe we have them, and it's just so great. And then, somewhere along the line, they just become the new average. The sad part about it is when relationships become the average, they're on the, there's a chance that they could fail. There's no one in my life I want more than my wife. There is no one in my life that will do anything any more for me than my wife can do. The person I'm sharing my life with, the mother of my kids. But how do you take your relationship if you're not where you want to be and you change it? Well, you have to do what great couples do, what couples around you do that have those great relationships. And I can tell you right, let me caution you, if you're looking at social media as your guide for a great relationship, that's probably not your best guide, because you're just going to get snippets of the best moments of people's lives. That's what social media is. It's a tool to make you feel inadequate. Or at least it makes me feel inadequate. I can't live up to the standards because there are parts of my life that just aren't that great. But if you take a look at what most great couples do, people who have great relationships and actually great friendships so that share their life together, the majority of their decisions, their choices, their interactions are about that other person. Does that mean you're connected at the hip like Siamese twins? No. What it means is that you can hear what that person's saying and you find that person interesting. And the way you do that is you learn about what it takes, or you remember back to what it took for you to capture that person in the first place. What caught their eye? What made them choose you? Chances are you're not doing a lot of that right now. Chances are you wake up every day just like everyone else, and there are so many things in your life that you have to do, that the idea of putting effort into your relationship and even having the time to think, hey, how can I make my life better? chances are you don't have time for that. I keep talking about how it is that I've managed to evolve and our relationships evolved and how we've been able to struggle through some of the things we faced in our life. And when it comes down to it, we had time to think about it. We've had time. I set time aside. Sandy set time aside to ponder what our future could look like together. And it included conversations about what our house would look like and how we would set up our retirement. But it was a conversation about how we would interact. For the longest time, she told me, I don't like it when you do that. And for the longest time, I couldn't hear her. And when I heard what she was saying, and I started responding by no longer doing things that bothered her, guess what? My relationship got better. And that's what great couples do. They work towards finding a way to communicate where it doesn't turn into a fight. If I can trust you enough to say, hey, listen, this is bothering me, and know that you're not going to get angry or defensive to the point it turns into a battle, I can say, hey, listen, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about it? And you can trust that person to say, I don't know. For the longest time, the reason Sandy and I couldn't ever communicate was because everything she said felt like she was attacking me. Because everything she said was connected to shame issues that I had. I was ashamed of myself. I never felt good enough. So for her to say, hey, listen, this sucks. Oh my God, that was an attack on me. And of course, Sandy's not perfect. She had the same issues in her life. And what we did was we did what great couples do. I took off on a path to learn more about me, and she did the same, and we started trying to find other ways to do the things we'd been doing. Because let's face it, when you look at your life, were you trained as a child or as a young adult to be in a relationship? You may have been. I was to a degree. I watched what my dad did, my mom did, my stepdads did, the people around me did, and I said, okay. But that's just the template. That doesn't address the specifics of the fact that I had low self-esteem. I had trust issues. My thing was, anyone who could love me, right? Who could love me? So what I did was I used control as a way to keep the people I loved with me. Poor Sandy. I feel bad to this day. I actually regret that. We had a conversation the other day about some decisions related to, just our environment and things in life and what we would do and what we agree on. And the truth is that Sandy is completely independent of me. She has her own money. She can make her own choices. And I didn't realize that until I started looking at myself. And that's what great couples do. So if you want an amazing relationship, if you want to start working toward an amazing relationship, don't focus on what's wrong with your relationship. Focus on what is right with it. Focus on what parts of your relationship you truly enjoy. And nurture those moments, nurture those times together, nurture those things you share. If there are things you want to see happen that have slipped by the way, initiate it. Tell your partner, hey, listen, you know what? There's some things we haven't been doing, and I really miss this. So can we start again? How about today? How about today we'll spend time, like an hour a day walking, just so we can talk and get to know each other again. Get to know what we're thinking and what we're about. Because I can tell you that I'm not the same person as I used to be. I'm not the same person as I was when I met Sandy. And I got worse after I met her. And then, well, of course, I got better. And now things are as amazing as they can be. But I wake up every day and I think about it. And one of the things I do is I just accept the fact that there's nothing I won't do for my wife. And I believe there's nothing she wouldn't do for me, because that's what great couples do. If you don't have the tools, if you don't have the skill set to do this, if you don't have the skill set to talk to your partner honestly and openly without tears and without anger, start reading books. Start asking yourself questions about why that happens, why that has to be that way. Then start making changes. Try something different. Try something new. Try being that person that they're like, oh my God, who are you? Surprise them by doing things that they never would have expected. Do like I do. Try to be Mr. Irresistible. Does it always work? Can you keep it up for? I don't know. I think it takes time for us to change. But that change will never happen until you start taking that action towards that. So keep that in mind. I think the foundation of a great life is a great relationship. And when your relationship is struggling, your life is going to be struggling. So start there. I hope this has helped. I've been married in January. It'll be 40 years. My wife is the center of my universe. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for her. I don't mind doing dishes, don't mind cooking. If she asks me to do it, I do it. Not because of me, but because of her. So keep that in mind. If you keep working at it, you find your path, you will find that it does get better. But you just have to work at it every day. And more than that, you have to define what better is, not based on what the world has told you, but on who you are. So anyway, until next time, just remember, today is your day. Make it a good one.